Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Demon Slayer Season 2 review. We're approaching the halfway point of the Mugen train arc, but still have a bit to go. In last week's episode, our three main protagonists meet up with Rengoku aboard the train, and get a real taste of his skills and zany personality not too long into the ride. However, they all fall victim to the real demon's spell and fall into a deep sleep. While they slumber, the demon elicts the help of 4 passengers to take the Demon Slayers out once and for all. So now with that tension built up for a week, we can finally get into exactly what's happening. In the last episode, we get a look at only Tanjiro's dreams. His dreams consist of none other than his family still being alive and Tanjiro just living a normal life with them, completely unaware of his time as a demon slayer and everything he'd gone through before their deaths. Now, at the start of this episode, we get a look into the rest of the crew's dreams. Zenitsu is dreaming of running in the wilderness romantically with Nezuko. That never changes, okay. On Inosuke's side of things, he's leading a rodent version of the group through a cave in order to fight a centipede of the train itself. Yeah, that feels like something Inosuke would dream up. How about Rengoku then? What pleasant dream is that guy having? Eating delicious food or something of that sort? Well, no, it actually doesn't start off very pleasant at all. Contrary to all the others' dreams, he starts having a conversation with his father about becoming a Hashira. We know from the first episode of the season that his father was very skilled, saving people's lives and inspiring his own son to be just like him. So surely he must be thrilled, right? Well, once again, no, that is not the case. In fact, he doesn't just insult the fact that he's become a Hashira, but also tells him that he will amount to nothing. Like, damn man, it's one thing to hate his job, but to call him worthless and saying he won't be anything in life? That's just really cruel, and not really what I expected from the man that inspired the powerful Hashira, and was clearly once one himself. Well, even to Rengoku, this came out of the blue, and was something that even he doesn't understand. Despite that, Rengoku doesn't let that negativity get to him, and stays positive, as well as sharing that positivity with his younger brother, Senjuro. Dude, big bro Rengoku is actually a really nice guy, despite his interesting behavior. Delicious! So, back to the demon's monologue. He talks about how those ropes do in fact let the people who tether themselves to those in a deep sleep with it invade their dreams. Back in Rengoku's dream, we can see him training his brother, which is probably the actual happy part of it, with the girl who tied herself to Rengoku hiding behind their house. She quickly makes a run for it, so as to not be seen, so she can safely reach the edge of his dream. Yeah, this special dream the demon has put them in is not infinite, being circular with the dreamer in the center of it. The subconscious realm is just outside of the dream's edge, and contains their spiritual core. The task of these 4 inceptors is to find that spiritual core and destroy it, permanently crippling the demon slayers. The girl manages to slice her way through the dream's edge and enters Rengoku's subconscious. It's a vast, stone-tiled place that sets ablaze, and is pretty much the perfect representation of Rengoku, a very passionate man whose fire you wouldn't be able to put out. As the young girl goes to destroy Rengoku's spiritual core, she is stopped suddenly in the real world as Rengoku's sleeping body springs to life and begins to choke her out. Goku who? This is the real Ultra Instinct. Back in Tanjiro's dream, my dude is still just enjoying the time with his family, with his mercenary just kind of chilling in the background, not making his break for the subconscious realm just yet. He seems to be a bit more conflicted compared to the girl going after Rengoku. So we get a shot of Tanjiro cutting some trees down and collecting the wood. As he collects it and puts it in the basket on his back, he says, "Nezuko, let's go." So the remnants of his current life are still there and are slowly starting to reach him in his dreams. This occurs a few more times as he shows concern for Nezuko going out in broad daylight, as well as seeing a glimpse of the box he uses to lug her around in. However, this confusion soon ends as his subconscious drags him underwater and informs him of the situation at hand. He appears in his home once more, now aware that he is in a dream, and is clueless of what he should do in order to wake himself up. At the same time in the real world, Nezuko decides to come out of her box and take a look around, clearly perplexed at the scene she's seeing. When she sees Tanjiro's body reacting negatively to the dream he's having, she attempts to wake him up by nudging him, as well as giving herself a pat on the head with his hand. When this doesn't wake him, she gets angry and headbutts him so hard she starts to bleed. God, how could you not love Nezuko? She's freaking adorable. Still though, with Tanjiro not even waking up from a vicious headbutt, she gives him another one for good measure, activating her blood demon art. This causes Tanjiro to catch on fire momentarily within his dream and slowly shakes him of this dream version of himself. Believing he needs to go and try to find the demon causing the dream, he runs away from his siblings in his search for it. However, he's halted by the sight of a normal human Nezuko, bringing tears to his eyes. His siblings and mother manage to catch up to him to see what the fuss is all about. After a moment of silence, Tanjiro expresses how he wishes he could stay with them and that things should have been like this always. But the fact of the matter is, nothing can bring them back now, and that he has to keep moving forward. As he does move forward though, he's chased by his youngest sibling, Rokuta, who cries out for Tanjiro to not leave them behind. I tell you dude, this breaks my heart so much. One way that I interpret this is that since this is Tanjiro's dream, it's his subconscious protecting some of his feelings onto these dream versions of his siblings. Of course, it could just be something designed by the demon in order to lull them into wanting to stay in the dream, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is part of Tanjiro's true feelings. That despite never forgetting them, moving forward with his life results in his dead family being left behind. It's sad and really tugs at the heartstrings. As Tanjiro marches forward with tears welling up, he begins his search for the demon causing all of this. In the harsh, snowy conditions, he manages to run right past the person trying to end his life, who now realizes he needs to complete his mission with haste now. He cuts into the subconscious realm, and we now all get a good look at Tanjiro's. It's an endless plain of sky and water. Dumbfounded by the immaculate view, his assailant ponders how his heart can be so beautiful and warm. The demon realizes his assistants are having trouble destroying their cores. However, it doesn't seem to bother him much at all, as they're still buying him time regardless. Back in Tanjiro's dream, he can smell the demon but can't exactly make out where it's coming from. At a complete loss, he suddenly hears his father's voice. He appears behind him briefly and tells him to wield his sword as there is something he must cut before vanishing. So, naturally, Tanjiro jumps to the conclusion that he must cut himself, killing himself in the dream in order to wake his real body up. He naturally has reservations about doing this because he is unsure if these are Nightmare on Elm Street rules or not. Regardless, he holds his sword up to his neck and lets out a primal scream before plunging it into his neck. And that's the episode. So overall, much like how I said last week, I like this episode because I like the movie. I will say that was sarcasm when I said Tanjiro naturally came to the conclusion to kill himself in the dream in order to wake himself up. I mean, that's a pretty large leap of logic, no? I don't think that would be my first go-to anyways. Maybe like my fifth or something like that. Aside from that though, getting that continued look at Rengoku's personality as well as his badass instincts is always cool to see. And of course, seeing Tanjiro deal with having to leave behind the happy life he wanted with his family gets you right in those feels, and continues making his arc a pretty great one to follow. But tell me, what did you all think? I'd love to hear what you all thought about this one. For now though, I'm gonna dip. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Hey guys, before the video closes out, I just want to thank you so much for bringing your support over here on Mystic Sage. I upload every Saturday and Sunday and strive to bring you guys a review and some fun discussion content, so your viewership means the world. Also, if you want a little more from Mystic Sage, head on over to TikTok and check us out over there for more fun, bite-sized anime videos. I've also got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool anime merch, so check it out. For real this time though, thanks again for watching. I'm Mystic Sage, and I'll see you next time with some more great anime content.